Before we begin the competition, I would now like to invite Maria Fatima to come forward and present the rules and regulation of the Inter School competition.
Good morning everyone. Myself Maria Fatima. I am here with the rules and regulations for the Inter School Elocution Competition. The competition is open to bona fide students of Standard 6th and Standard 7th Group A, and Standard 8th and Standard 9 will be the Group B. Each participating school should send one participant from each group. The participant should deliver their speech based on the topic chosen and specified in the registration form, without referring any prepared speech. Written notes or scripts are not allowed. There is a panel of judges whose decision will be the final and binding on all concerned. Marks shall be accorded to the participants by the panel of judges based on the following criteria. First, content, speech structure and organization. Second, value, logic and original thoughts. Third, delivery, that is body language and voice. Then the fourth one is manner, directness and enthusiasm. Then the last one is language, appropriateness and correctness. Each participant will have 4 minutes to present his or her speech. A warning bell will ring after 3.5 minutes to alert the participant and to conclude the speech on time. Participant must not exceed the permissible time limit. Participant must not disclose their name or school's name while delivering their speech. While delivering their speech, participants should avoid hurting someone's personal, religious or political sentiments. Then lastly, I want to say that any previous participant should not be repeated. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, for that clear explanation. The stage is now set for our junior group orators, young voices ready to express their thoughts and reflection on the theme Youth and Persona. I request our esteemed panel of judges to kindly pick up the checks on which the participants' numbers are written, so we can invite our participants on the stage accordingly.
Participant number A11.
The art of communication is the language of leadership, and leading us today with their words is our first participant, speaker number A11.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Respected judges, teachers and my dear friends. We all love success, don't we? Everyone wants to top the exam, win the race or make their parents proud. But let me ask you something. What happens when we don't succeed? What happens when we study hard, pray hard and still fail? Do we stop trying or do we learn something? Once a student told his teacher, "Ma'am, I failed my test." The teacher smiled and said, "Good job, you have just learned one new way that doesn't work." And that's exactly what failure does. It teaches us what success never can. My dear friends, failure is not the opposite of success. It is the bridge that takes us there. Every great person you admire has walked across that bridge. Let's see some examples. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked how he kept on, he said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work." Walt Disney was fired from his first job because his boss said that he had no imagination. Today, millions visit Disneyland because of the same imagination. And even in sports, do you know Lionel Messi was rejected from a football academy because he was too short? But he didn't give up. He kept practicing, learning from every missed goal, and became one of the best players of all time. Our Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Inshirah, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." This means after every difficulty, there is relief and success, but only for those who keep trying. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced many challenges in spreading the message of Islam. Revenge, mockery, even battles. Yet he remained patient and steadfast. He taught us that a believer never loses. If he succeeds, he is grateful. If he fails, he is patient. That's the true spirit of learning from failure. Now let's think of our daily life. Maybe you had studied for your exam and got a low grade. Maybe your cricket team lost after weeks of practices. Maybe you tried to memorize a surah and forgot a few verses. These moments hurt, don't they? But after every mistake, every difficulty, there is Allah's teaching that makes us stronger, smarter, and more humble. There is a beautiful saying, when Allah takes something from you, He is not punishing you. He is preparing you for something better. So whenever you fail, don't say why me, say try me. Remember that little baby who learns to walk. He falls hundreds of times, but he doesn't say, maybe walking isn't for me. He tries until that one perfect step. So, let's promise ourselves that we will never fear failure again. We will never give up, and we will learn, grow and rise from every mistake. Because success tastes sweeter when it comes after failure. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Participant number A14.
Words are free. It's how you use them that may cost you. Let's welcome our next speaker, participant number A13, to show us the value of words.
The youth of today are the architects of tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, respected teachers and my dear friends, a warm and inspiring good morning to all of you. Today, I stand before you to speak on a topic that carries the force of every dream, every heartbeat and every hope of this nation. The role of youth in building a better society. Let me begin with a powerful truth. A nation's future is not written in books, it's written in the heart of its youth. Youth are not just an age group, youth are a revolution. Youth are the fire that can brighten the world or burn down injustice. Youth are the wings that can lift society to heights it has never seen before. Youth are the power of innovation. Today's world is changing faster than ever. Climate challenges, global conflicts, new technology and social inequalities are constant. But within every challenge lies an opportunity, and it is the youth who sees the opportunity first. Young minds think differently, young minds dream boldly, and young minds create fearlessly. Innovation begins when young people refuse to accept the world as it is. Apps, movements, inventions, startups, most of these were created by young people who believed they could change lives. Youth are the voices of courage. Throughout history, the strongest revolutions were never started by the powerful. They were started by the youth. Why? Because youth do not fear change, they demand change. Young people question injustice. They challenge outdated traditions. They speak when silence becomes dangerous. Courage is the heartbeat of youth, and courage builds nations. Youth are the foundation of unity in a world divided by religion, caste, language, and politics. Youth have a unique superpower. They look beyond differences. The youth of today do not ask, where are you from? They ask, what do you dream of? A better society is not built by fighting each other, but by standing together. Youth must take responsibility. Let us be honest, power without responsibility is wasted, and potential without purpose is like a lamp without light. This generation must choose discipline over distraction, action over excuses, and character over chaos. A society becomes better when its youth becomes better. Better thinkers, better leaders, and better human beings. Youth must lead with value. Technology can build cities, but values can build civilizations. Honesty, respect, courage, responsibility. These are the tools that create a society worth living in. A nation becomes strong not by the strength of its buildings, but by the strength of its young people. So my dear friends, imagine a society where each young person uses the strength for good, the voice for truth, the mind for progress, and the heart for humanity. That kind of society won't just be better, it would be unbreakable. Let me end with one powerful line. The youth of today are not the future, they are the present that will create the future. So let us rise with a purpose, lead with courage, and build with love, because the world may not change by chance, but it will change by youth, like us who choose to change it. Thank you.
It's A13.
Our next speaker, speaker number A13, will surely carve their words with precision. A13 is absent.
Participant number A6.
It's not the speech that counts, but the impact it makes. Please welcome participant number A6, ready to make an impact with their speech.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Respected judges, teachers and my dear friends, good morning to everyone. Today, I would like to speak about a topic that every one of us has experienced, but not everyone understands. The importance of learning from failures. Failure is something we all face, whether it's losing a match, scoring low on a test, or struggling to learn something new. Failure visits everyone, but the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. In fact, it is a part of success, as Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." When we fail, we feel sad or disappointed. But if we look closely, failure is actually a great teacher. It teaches us patience, discipline and resilience. Imagine learning how to walk. No baby walks perfectly on the first try. We all fail many times before taking our first steady step. Those small falls were our first lessons in life. Even great personalities experienced failure before achieving greatness. Michael Jordan, one of the world's best basketball players, said, I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." If a legend like him can embrace failure, so why can't we? Failure shows us our mistakes and helps us improve. It gives us experiences that success cannot. It builds our character. It makes us strong and humble. APJ Abdul Kalam beautifully explained it. Fail means first attempt in learning. Isn't that encouraging? So friends, the next time when we fail, let us not give up. Let us analyze, understand and grow. Success tastes sweeter when we rise after falling. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and we too shine brighter when we overcome challenges. In life, don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of not trying, because each failure brings us one step closer to our goals. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Participant number A1. A1.
To speak well is to influence. Let's give a round of applause to our next speaker, speaker number A1, as they influence us with their thoughts.
Today's mega news headlines. 25 years youth met with an accident. 2 youngsters imprisoned for rash driving. 30 years old family depressed. I was shocked. It forced me to think and reflect about alarming miserable conditions of today's youth, the backbone of a country's future. So, I stand here to highlight today's topic, the role of youth in building a better society. Youth time is disclosure of dreams and face reality. Youth symbolizes hope, energy, creativity and fresh ideas. Youth are the pioneers of today's future. Youth are the pioneers of today's future. Youth symbolizes hope, energy, creativity, fresh ideas, power, desire and creativity. Then why? Their energy is not channelized. Why are they left on untrodden paths to astray? I assure, if youth take responsibilities, societies can produce just and global leaders with their wisdom and experience. To conclude, I request you all, come, let's hold hand in hand and sign a memorandum to government to empower youth, provide them resources, harness their power, as they are the architects of today's youth, today's future. Jazakallah.
It's A15.
He who knows how to speak knows also when to speak. Please welcome participant number A15.
Good morning, honorable chief guest, respected judges, and my dear teachers and friends. Today, I'm here to speak on a topic that every single one of us has experienced, and that is failure, and why learning from your failure is important. The Oxford Dictionary defined failure as lack of success, but I believe failure is simply a message telling us try again, but try differently. We often think of failure as something negative. It makes us feel disappointed, embarrassed, or even scared. But the truth is, failures are not the end of our journey. In fact, it's the beginning of real learning. Think about how we learn to walk as children. None of us got it right for the first time. We fell again and again, but each fall taught us balance, coordination, and confidence. That's what learning really is. A series of small failures lead to big successes. From the moment we start our school, we are taught to aim for success, to get right answers, to score the highest marks, and to win the competition. But what we don't talk about enough is how failure helps us grow, reflect, and improve. Every time we fail, we are given an opportunity to understand what went wrong and how to do better next time. Thomas Edison had a very famous and inspiring attitude toward failure. When reporters asked him about how he felt about failing so many times before successfully inventing the light bulb, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." In recent times, a lot of motivational speakers said, celebrate failure and fail forward. And they love quoting the writer Samuel Beckett, who said, fail again, fail better. But the truth is, most of us don't fail better. Most of us fail and fail the same way again. And that's okay. That's how real learning happens. Failure teaches us resilience, humility, and creativity. It forces us to think differently to problem, solve, and push beyond our comfort zone. Failures So, next time you face a failure, whether a bad grade, a rejected idea, or even a personal mistake, just remember this. Failures are not the end of our journey. In fact, it's the beginning of real learning. Failure forces us to think differently to problems. So, before I conclude, let me tell you that failures are great teachers. Don't shrug them off until you have learned the lesson they hold. Embrace them and grow stronger with each step forward. Thank you.
Participant number 824.
Great minds speak from the heart. Let's listen to the heartfelt words of our next speaker, speaker number 824.
Good morning everyone, honorable guests and respected teacher and judges and my dear friends. Today I am going to speak on a topic why learning from failures is important. Many people think failure, it is the opposite of success. It is the first step to achieving something great. Man has to face challenges in life and difficult are bound to come in the way of a person. But one who keeps on achieving something great. Success is the result of hard work, and every failure is the stepping stone to success. A man who has not tasted failure does not know the value of success. Failure should not discourage us. We should not lose heart in case we fail to achieve our objective. Failure is very important for everyone. Thank you.
A19. A good orator is pointed and impassioned. Let's invite speaker number A19 to take the stage with passion.
And a very cheerful morning to one and all. Today, I am here to voice my opinion on the topic why learning from failure is important. So let's begin. First of all, failures are not the end. They are not signs that we are weak. failures are actually lessons from Allah meant to make us stronger, wiser and more successful. A failure teaches us what success cannot. In the Quran, Allah says, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." This ayah reminds us that difficulty is the part of the journey and ease comes after we learn and grow through that difficulty. Prophets also face challenges. Every prophet of Allah went through struggles, setbacks and painful moments. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam preached for 950 years, but very few people listened. Prophet Yunus alayhi salam ended up in the belly of the whale after leaving his people. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced rejections, loss, battle defeats and hardships. But did any of them give up? Never. Instead, they reflected, corrected their approach, trusted Allah and moved forward. Their failures became the foundation of their ultimate success. Failure builds patience and tawakkul. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The affair of the believer is amazing. If something good happens, he is grateful, and if hardship comes, he is patient. Both are good for him." This hadith teaches us that difficulty is the part of the journey and ease comes. This hadith teaches us that even failure is good for the believer if we learn from it. Mistakes are teachers, not enemies. Sometimes we think failing an exam, losing a match or making a mistake means we are not capable. But in reality, failure shows us what to improve. Failure teaches us the right path. Failure pushes us to work harder. It is like a mirror that shows us where we need to grow. And remember, Shaitan wants us to quit and Allah wants us to rise. Success tastes sweeter after failure. Whenever we work hard, fall, get up and try again, success feels different. It feels earned. It feels meaningful. Just like a seed must be buried in the soil before it becomes a tree, we must also go through failures before we rise. My dear people, failure is not something to fear. It is something to learn from. And with Allah's help, every fall becomes a rise. Thank you.
A7.
Words can light fires in the minds of men. Please welcome speaker number A7 who is ready to ignite our thoughts.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning everyone, respected teachers, dear students and my young friends. Today I feel truly honored and blessed to speak on a topic that holds the key to our nation's future, the role of youth in building a better society. Dear friends, youth are like the heartbeat of a nation. When the heartbeat is strong, the nation is alive, energetic and full of hope. We, the youth, are not just the future of our country. We are its present power, its living energy and its greatest asset. The progress of any society depends on the thoughts and actions of its young generation. If the youth are guided by honesty, discipline and compassion, then the society will naturally grow towards peace, unity and success. But if the youth are misguided, lazy or negative, then the entire nation suffers. That is why, dear friends, our role is not a small one. We have the power to change the system, to challenge wrong and to create right. If every young person If every young person decides to be honest in their work, respectful to elders and kind to others, our society will automatically transform. We can when we help someone in need, when we speak up for justice, when we say no to wrong and yes to right, we are already building a better society. We can serve our community by spreading awareness about education, cleanliness, women's safety and environmental care. We can volunteer in school, plant trees, help poor children study, and bring smiles to people's faces. These small acts of kindness create a huge wave of goodness. Let us become youth who dream big but also work hard. Let us become youth who are not only successful but also humble, disciplined, and sincere. Remember, when we choose honesty over cheating, peace over anger, and kindness over hatred, we not just improve ourselves, we improve our world. Remember, every big change begins with a small step, and that step can be ours. So let's decide today to be better individual, to serve our family, our society, and our nation with pride and purpose. So, my dear friends, let's promise ourselves that we will use our time, talent, and energy for something positive for our nation, our society, and for humanity. Because the truth is, the youth of today are the builders of tomorrow. If we rise with faith, courage, and unity, then no dream is too big and no challenge is too strong. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khair.
It's A9.
A wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool because he has to say something. Our next speaker, speaker number A9, surely has something meaningful to share.
Honorable Chief Guest, respected teacher, and my dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. The topic of my speech is why learning from failures is important. First of all, I would like to ask you, what is a failure in life? It's not achieving a desired outcome, whether that's a specific goal or a general life expectation. We must learn from failure. When we work hard for a goal and do not succeed, we realize our weakness and mistakes. This mistake show us the way forward and strengthen our thinking. Without failure, the test of success is incomplete. So instead of being afraid of failure, we should learn from it. The Quran says about success, learning from failure. It is the word of our dictionary. But in the Quran, for mistakes, tawbah and sabr, we find these words, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Surah Nashra, ayah number 5 and 6. So indeed, with hardship comes ease. Allah reminds us that every difficulty is accompanied by relief and ease. Every successful person has faced failures many times in life, but they did not get disappointed. They made this experience their teachers. That is why failure should not be considered a defeat, but an opportunity to try again. The teacher teaches us even if we don't understand at first. If we keep trying continuously, we learn with the help of the teacher. Dear listeners, I just want to say that we should never step back because of the fear of failure. Elon Musk, the founder of space, dreamed of building the Starship so that humans could one day travel to Mars. The first Starship rocket exploded several times during testing. Some rockets were destroyed in midair during launch. Many people said that this project was impossible and that Musk was wasting his money. However, Elon Musk did not give up. He learned from every failure. Finally, in 2024, Starship completed a successful test flight, reaching space and re-entering Earth's atmosphere. My dear friends, failure is not the end. It is the first step towards success. Apart from Elon Musk, many other people have learned from their failure. For example, Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Abraham Lincoln. All these people prove that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Failure teaches us the importance of patience, courage and hard work. When we fail, we develop a passion to try harder and work harder than before. Honorable listener, from today let's make a promise that we will never be afraid of failure in life. We will turn it into success. With this, I conclude my speech. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Jazakallah.
A8. Speech is a mirror of the soul. As a man speaks, so is he. Let's listen closely as speaker number A8 reflects their soul in their words.
We often hear that the people say success is sweet. And yes, it is. But have you ever stopped to think about what really makes success so sweet? It's the taste of struggle, the lesson from our mistake, the strength that we gain from our failure. That's why I firmly believe that learning from the failure is not just important, it is essential for growth and success. Let me start with the famous quote by Thomas Alva Edison, the inventor of bulb. When someone asked him how he failed after failing 10,000 times, he calmly replied, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Imagine that, 10,000 failed attempts, yet he never gave up. Why? Because he has learned something from every single failure, and that learning finally lit up the world. Every single failure teaches us what does not work and guiding us toward what does. It builds resilience, shapes characters, and makes success meaningful. Think about it. If we succeeded in everything on the first try, would we ever appreciate our victory? Would we ever appreciate our push ourselves to do better? No, it's the failure that tests our patience, our courage, and our determination. Let's take the example of Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of the all time. He once said, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. I have failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. Even Abraham Lincoln, before becoming one of the greatest presidents of United States, failed in business, lost election, and faced many personal hardships. Yet, each failure taught him perseverance and patience. That very qualities that made him a great leader. And let's not forget J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter. Before her books became bestseller, she faced rejection from 12 publishers. Instead of quitting, she learned from each rejection and improved her writing. Today, her books inspire millions of the people around the world. These stories tells us one thing clearly. Failure is not falling down, it is refusing to get up. When we fall, we get something very precious. Experience. We learn what to avoid, how to improve, and how to keep going. In fact, failure makes us humble. It reminds us that we are still learning, we are still growing, because every failure brings one step closer to the success. Every setback plants a seed for a comeback. Let me conclude with the wise word of Nelson Mandela. Do not judge me by my success. Judge me how many times I fell down and got back up again. So let's not fear failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and come back stronger. Thank you.
A5.
The road to success is always under construction. Let's listen to the journey of speaker number A5 as they take the stage.
Respected teachers, parents, and my dear friend. Have you ever thought about who will make our world a better place? Yes, it's us, the youth. We can bring change with our good thoughts and kind actions. What we do today will shape the world tomorrow. So it's great honor for me to stand before you and speak on the topic which holds power to shape our nation's future. The role of youth in building a better society. Society is like a garden and the youth are its most vibrant flowers, full of energy, hope and potential. The strength of any nation does not lie in wealth and weapons, but in the character, vision and determination of its young people. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam beautifully said, "The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow." Franklin Roosevelt said, "We cannot always build future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." The role of youth is not something that begins in the distant future. It begins now. To build a better society, three qualities are essential among youth: awareness, action, and empathy. Awareness and understanding of the issues around us active participation in community services, and care for one another. In this era of social media and global connectivity, young people have outstanding power to influence others. Every small act, volunteering, helping the needy, and protecting environment adds a brick to the foundation of our better world. Dr. APJ Kalam sir once said, "Dream, dream, dream. Dream transforms into thoughts, and thoughts result into action. So let us dream not of personal success, but of a society where kindness, equality, and progress walk hand in hand. The youth are not just the failure, but they are the present force that rebuild our world. So let us work together and create a society we can all be proud of." And with a forward-looking statement, if we, the young generation, stay true to our values and dedicate our talent to the development of our country, the nation will surely become a stronger, better nation. We, the youth, hold the power to change the idea into action and the action into impact. Thank you. Let's continue to grow, learn, and inspire together.
A2.
A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Please welcome speaker number A2, who speaks with the wisdom of challenges.
Today I am going to talk about something that every single person in this world experiences. Failure. Yes, failure, a word that many people fear, but one holds that great power and meaning if we learn to understand it. Failure, it is not the opposite of success, it is a part of success. Every great person has failed many times. From leader to artist, from scientist to sportsman has failed many times before achieving greatness. Thomas Edison has failed 1,000 times before he invented the electric bulb. Learning from failure is one of the most valuable lessons we can experience in life. Failure is not end, but rather a stepping stone towards success. When we fail, we gain insight into what doesn't work, which is just as important as knowing what does this help us to make better decisions in the future. Failure builds resilience each time we face setback and rise again. We grow stronger and more determined. It teaches us to be humble, open to feedback and willing to change our approach. Moreover, failure encourage creativity and innovation because it pushes us to explore new ways to overcome obstacles. Without failure, there is a little room for growth. Many successful people have faced numerous failures before achieving their dreams. We often grow up hearing that failure is something to be ashamed, or if we don't lose marks, or if we make mistake, we immediately feel discouraged. Society sometimes make us believe that only winner matter, but this is not truth. Truth is very different. Winners are not people who never fail. Winners are people who never quit. Moreover, failure helps us grow. It pushes us to out of our comfort zone. It forces us to improve our skill, sharpen our thinking and become more creative. Some of the best ideas are born after making mistakes. My dear friends, always remember failure is not losing, failure is learning. Many successful students, athletes, scientists or leaders has a long story behind their achievement. Success is like a tree that people admire, but failure is the root. Tree cannot stand tall. Similarly, without facing and learning from failure, we cannot achieve true success. So the next time we fail, don't feel ashamed, don't give up. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I become? Your answer to this question will become your step towards success. In conclusion, failure is not an end. It is an opportunity and invitation to try again, to learn more, to grow stronger. Accept your failure, respect them and learn more. Then one day they will become the foundation of your success story. Thank you.
A23. The success of a speech is not measured by the applause, but by how long it stays with the audience. Let's see how speaker number A13 leaves a lasting impact.
Respected judges, honorable teachers, and my worthy competitors. Today, I stand here to speak on the topic why learning from failures is important. Imagine a little child standing on a bright lit stage. Her hands tremble, her heart races, and hundreds of eyes are fixed on her. She opens her mouth to speak, but the words don't come out. Silence fills the hall. Her eyes blur with tears, her dream crumbles, and she runs off the stage, feeling small, defeated, and broken inside. That night, she whispers to herself, "Maybe I am just not meant for this." But what if someone told her, "No, my dear, every failed attempt, every trembling word is quietly building your courage. Every time you fall, you are rising stronger than before." Because failure isn't a full stop. It's a comma in the sentence of success. It's not the end of your story. It's the training ground of your greatness. My dear brothers and sisters, we all dream of success in our studies, careers, goals, and life. But the truth is, success is a poor teacher. Failure is the master. When life goes your way, you celebrate. But when life goes wrong, that's when you learn, reflect, and grow. Failure is not a punishment, it's a preparation. It's life's way of saying, "You are not done yet. I am shaping you for something greater." Even the greatest people have failed before they rose. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced rejection and humiliation. He was mocked, ignored, and stoned in Taif. Yet he did not give up. He prayed, "Oh Allah, if you are not angry with me, then I do not care." He didn't see failure as a defeat. He saw it as a direction. Years later, he returned to Makkah, not with revenge, but with forgiveness and triumph. This story reminds us, failure doesn't end destiny, it activates it. Even beyond history and fate, the world is full of lessons from failures. Thomas Edison failed over thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling faced 12 rejections before Harry Potter changed the world. Every one of them could have quit, but they didn't because they understood failure isn't falling down, it's refusing to get back up. Because every fall is just a rehearsal for your rise. And sometimes failure is life's way of protecting you. You didn't get the marks you hoped for. Maybe life is teaching patience. A plan failed. Maybe something better awaits. The Quran reminds us, it may be that you dislike something which is good for you. Whether you call it destiny, life, or divine wisdom, every failure carries a hidden gift. So dear friends, when you fail, don't let it define you, let it refine you. Even the stars cannot shine without darkness. Even a seed must break before it blooms. And even we must fall before we rise. So when life knocks you down, don't whisper, "Why me?" Stand tall and say, "Try me, because I am learning, growing, and getting stronger." Every failure you face today is secretly preparing you for the success you will hold tomorrow. So the next time you stumble, smile and say, "Alhamdulillah, life is teaching me how to fly." Jazakallahu khair.
A20.
The tongue is 3 inches long, yet it can kill a man 6 feet high. With that power in mind, please welcome speaker number A20 to the stage.
It is truly a privilege to stand before you today. In a world that moves so quickly, we rarely pause to reflect. Yet today, we gather to share our ideas that truly matter. I would like to start with a thought that has guided me through many storms. Falling is not failure. Failing to rise again is. We These words remind us that defeat is not final unless we choose to stay down. Failure, it's a word none of us like. It stings, it embarrasses us, it sometimes even breaks us. But if we look closely, we realize that failure is not an enemy, it's a teacher. Every failure carries a lesson wrapped inside it, and those who are brave enough to open that painful gift grow. Think about Thomas Edison, the man who gave the world the electric bulb. Someone once asked him, "You failed 1,000 times. How did you not give up?" He smiled and said, "I did not fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the magic of perspective. Failure teaches us patience. They teach us humility. They teach us what our strengths are, and most importantly, what our weaknesses are. But most of all, they teach us resilience, the ability to rise even when everything feels heavy. Another quote I always remember is, "Failure is not final. Success is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts," by Winston Churchill. Life doesn't reward perfection. Life rewards consistency, effort, and the courage to try one more time. If you think about it, nobody has ever succeeded without failing first. A child falls countless times before they learn to walk, yet we never call that child a failure. We encourage them, we cheer for them, we believe in them. Then why, when we grow up, do we stop believing in ourselves? Failures are simply feedback. They tell us where to improve, they show us where to tighten our grip, sharpen our skills, and adjust our directions. Let me share one more thought. Don't fear failure. Fear being in the exact same place next year as you are today, because failure moves you forward even when it hurts. Imagine your life as a staircase. Each failure is not a fall downwards, it's a step upwards. You stumble, you slip, but you're still climbing. And every step is taking you closer to the person you are meant to become. So the next time failure knocks on your door, welcome it, listen to it, learn from it, grow from it. Because the strongest people in this world are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who refuse to give up. I would like to end my speech with one final quote that captures the heart of my speech. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. It is the storms, the challenges, the setbacks that build our character. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid of falling. Be afraid of not getting back up. Because every time you rise after a failure, you rise stronger, wiser, and braver than before. Thank you and have a very nice day.
A22.
An orator is the one who makes people think, feel, and act. Let's give a warm round of applause to speaker number 822, our next orator.
He had always dreamed of flying. Every evening, he sat by the sea, watching the birds glide across the sky, free, limitless. He wanted to feel that freedom. Years of study, preparation, and hope brought him to that single moment. His interview for the Indian Air Force. There were 25 candidates. Only 8 would be selected. When the results were announced, his name was 9th. Just one rank short, one step away from a lifelong dream. He walked out quietly, not angry, just empty. Respected judges and dear friends, today I speak on the topic, why learning from failures is important. Instead of giving up, that man told himself, perhaps God has another flight planned for me, just not the one I imagined. He went on to work in a completely different field. Years later, he launched not himself in the skies, but rockets, satellites, and the dreams of an entire nation. That young man was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, The missile man of India, the man who once failed to fly but ended up helping a whole nation soar. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the foundation of it. Most beautiful success stories aren't written in comfort, they're written in struggle, patience, and faith. Even the Quran reminds us, indeed, with hardship comes ease. It means every fall carries the seed of a greater rise. Thomas Edison once said, I didn't fail 1,000 times, I discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. But today, we often hide failures. We fear being laughed at, rejected, or compared. Failure. We forget failure is not falling down, it's refusing to get up. What feels like a closed door, what feels like rejection, may actually be the beginning of a path meant for you. Sometimes Allah protects us from the paths that will limit us. Jazakallah khair.
A16. Speech is civilization itself. Please welcome speaker number A16, contributing to the world of words.
Respected dignitaries and all my dear audience, let me start with a small, bitter irony of our time. We are the generations that can launch a multinational startup from our mobile phones. Yet, we often hesitate to take the responsibility for our own street. We are told youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, we are busy scrolling Instagram, looking for life hacks instead of taking life actions. We have perfected the art of outrage click, but forgotten the grind of the outreach work. We all are keyboard revolutionaries. Yes, the keyboard revolutionaries, loud on Twitter, silent on polling booth. We treat governance like a mobile games. We'll complain about lag in server, but we won't submit a bug report. Over 60% of India's population is below the age of 35. We are demographic superpower, yet our active leadership participation looks more like a glitch than a majority. Many say politics is dirty, but here is the brutal logic of life. When clean ones stay out, the dirty one steps in. Your absence is their oxygen. Our cozy leadership isn't just a political trend. It's a moral and spiritual imperative, a core duty in every great tradition. In Islam, leadership is defined by amanah trust. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made it very clear. Every single one of us is a leader. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته, which means every one of you is a shepherd. Every one of you is a shepherd and it's responsible. Iqbal wanted us to lead with courage, not comfort. Malcolm X was right. Future belongs to those who prepare for it today. We cannot wait for some ideal hero to fix things. That hero is an empty category. Because that hero is supposed to be us, you and me. Let's stop hitting snooze button for the leaders sitting in sight. Our energy is meant for change, not for complaint. Let's not just stop talking about Iqbal's dream. Let's live it. Let me remind you some beautiful words of Allama Iqbal. सबक फिर पर सदाकत का सुजाअत का अदालत का, सबक फिर पर सदाकत का सुजाअत का अदालत का, लिया जाएगा तुझसे काम दुनिया की इमामत का. Let me end by patting the shoulders of organizers. Saluting the organizers for involving school-going kids and reminding them for their responsibility as a future leader. Thank you, dear audience, for listening me. Sorry. Thank you, future leaders, for listening me.
A12.
It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Our next speaker, speaker number A12, rises with determination and confidence.
The topic before me today is why learning from failures is important. There is a beautiful saying, failure is not the end of the road, it's just a bend on the way to success. We all want to succeed in studies, in sports, in life, but can success truly shine without the shadow of failure? The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. It is the greatest teacher, our invisible guide. Take the story of Thomas Edison. He failed nearly 1,000 times before inventing the electric bulb. When someone asked him how it felt to fail so many times, he calmly replied, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. What a wonderful attitude. Even the greatest athletes and leaders have tasted failure. Before becoming a cricket legend, Virat Kohli was dropped from several matches. But instead of giving up, he worked harder. He stands one of the most admired cricketers in the world. In my own life, I once failed in a speech competition. I forgot my lines and left the stage in embarrassment. That day, I promised myself next time I will prepare harder. I practiced for weeks, overcome my fear, and the next year I stood first. Failure became my foundation for success. As Albert Einstein said, failure is success in progress. It teaches us humility, patience, and resilience, and learn how to grow stronger. Friends, remember, a diamond can't shine without pressure. A river can't flow without struggle, and a person can't grow without failure. So never fear failure, welcome it. Every failure you face is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. When things go wrong, don't run away. When things go wrong, don't run away. Failure come to teach the way. Failure come to teach the way. Each mistake's a hidden key. Each mistake's a hidden key. Open doors for you and me. Open doors for you and me. Thank you everyone.